Hey, in the shop today, I got Ron Domin from Flaming River. How you doing, Ron?
Very good, Dennis.
Great to have you here, man. Well, I would say we're going to talk about steering columns. You guys know a little bit about those, don't you?
Yeah, that's kind of like what we do.
It's kind of like what you're known for. And you do it all in Cleveland, Ohio, right?
Yes, we do.
Well, and that's and this, let's talk this column. This is the one you guys have been making for a while. This has got a lot of different applications.
Yeah, this is great for the Chevy pickup truck. This particular design of cone right here is good for 57 Chevys as well. It fits right into the dashboard bezel perfectly.
And she's all stainless?
It's all stainless steel, yes.
Well, that's nice, and it's all polished and everything. But what if I actually wanted to paint that? I really can't paint stainless.
Well, we have that for you too. We have the ones that haven't been polished, so they have kind of like a mill finish or a matte finish.
So the paint will adhere to that?
The paint will adhere to it very well.
And a universal connector?
General Motors. So they're very standard and available, and if by chance that wiring harness that you have in that car doesn't have the right connector, we have the female adapter kit available for you for a very nominal amount of money.
So you can mate it up to just about anything?
Anything you need it for.
This will then also handle a lot of different wheels?
A lot of different steering wheels. That particular one's called the Waterfall.
That's gorgeous,
That's one
man.
of our...
that is a trick wheel.
Very fine wheel, yes. And very popular with the muscle cars and the Camaros and the Mustangs and a lot of pickup trucks as well.
No kidding. Well, you know what's interesting? I mean, it's a very modern looking wheel. It's smaller in diameter and thicker. It gives you that more today feel.
That's correct. It's about a 14-inch diameter, and the wheel itself has a better gripping to it than normal, because the old wheels, were kind of large and then real thin, so they're kind of hard to hold on to.
Yeah, no, this looks great. Feels great, looks great. Now, this is a pretty important little unit right there, isn't it?
Yeah, this is the GM neutral safety switch, kind of a safety feature that everybody has to have, especially when you have automatic and especially when you have a gear shift column. It prevents the car from starting in any other gear than park or neutral.
Because that would be a bad thing.
And it can be, and there has been a lot of accidents that way. So we really encourage people to make sure when you're doing gear shift to put the neutral safety switch on the column. It's a good safety feature, and your wiring harness will plug right into it.
Yeah. Well, that's wonderful. And now you can have kind of all the modern convenience and comfort of a tilt wheel. It's just, I mean, we're all used to it now. It's almost like you get in a car without it, and it's like, what's wrong? What's wrong here?
Many of the 60s and 70s cars didn't have tilt steering, and by having this feature now available to you, it makes the car really nice and update and very comfortable to drive.
Absolutely. But the latest, greatest here is this new column, and this is very cool.
Yeah, this is really a unique piece of equipment here, and it's the first brand new steering column with the ignition key at the 3 o'clock position offered to the aftermarket.
And that's where GM put it originally, right?
And that's correct. And it even has, Dennis, the original General Motors key and key assembly. So it makes replaceability real easy.
So that's just a standard GM blank?
Very standard, yes. And in addition to that, this column has the standard mechanical ignition switch, which is General Motors, and of course your wiring harness, if you're putting it in a Regal or a Cutlass, will plug right in.
Plugs right in. And so, and the same thing for here?
Same thing with the turn signal and hazard directional system.
Now this is more of the OEM color. I mean, a lot of them were black. And so this one isn't stainless steel?
Yes, it is. But the difference is we have this one powder coated, because many of the GM interiors, as you well remember, were black. And so it makes it very standard and makes a very perfect fit. But you can get this in the polish just like this, or the paintable as well. In addition to that, this happens to be the the floor shift, model. We also make this in gear shift as well.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes. So
now this one's kind of stubby. Is this just for demo purposes, or?
No, actually, it's called a micro column, and there are situations where a car builder needs to have more floor space, and so he likes to tilt the column up away and bring it through the firewall.
Oh, and then just put a universal knuckle there, and
put another universal joint at the end, and work your way down to the rack and pinion or the steering box.
Man. Well, now, you make it for street rods and for resto mods and stuff, but you make columns for a lot of stuff.
If it drives, we make it.
And everything in Cleveland, Ohio.
Everything in Cleveland, Ohio, made in America.
Made in America. You gotta love that.
We do.
Well, hey man, if you want to learn anything more about these great tilt columns from Flaming River, log on to myclassiccar.com. I'm wondering, you do one for a 56 Lincoln, or?
That'd be an interesting project.
Wouldn't it though? We'll have to talk.
Okay.
Visit EastwoodGarage.com, your trusted source for professional auto restoration tools and techniques for over 30 years.